Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Business Plugs Mixer. Hi, my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They called me the Business Plug. You've just turned into the Business Plugs Mixer that comes on most Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we have business conversations with business people about things that are happening in life and business in general. So thank you for joining us. Go ahead and like wherever you are, wherever you see the video. Go ahead and like it, and then click on the bell so that you'll know that when we're on. Most times we're on Sundays, but we do have some special events coming up that's going to happen through the week. So you want to have your notification on so you'll be able to join us. I am so excited about our topic today. We're talking about the happy experts in dimensional learning. So we're going to learn what that is and how that influences us and how she can help us to be more grounded when we're living our lives. So before I go to her, I want to do two things to keep my team happy. So the first thing is, if you have a group of people who are entrepreneurs and you've already helped them to get certified, they have their local, they have their state, and they have their federal certifications. In addition to that, they have their corporate certifications, and they're registered. If you already have those people who've went through and they've gotten their certifications, guess what? Certified Now What is my newest product. It's where I teach your people what to do with those certifications. And so we actually walk through, it's a workshop that I'm doing. Shout out to Jackson, Mississippi. I'm going to be with you guys tomorrow, and I'm going to teach you how to use those certifications in Mississippi. So I'm doing it in Mississippi. I was in Memphis last weekend. Shout out to Memphis. Ready for Boom. Ready to Boom is a group of people out in Memphis, business owners, and we're spending time together on Saturday. So shout out to my new students in Memphis, Tennessee. And then in next month, I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm coming to you to teach your people how to use certifications to their best benefit and to help them to get certified if they've not been certified yet. So there's two different programs, but I provide them both in person or online virtually. You get to decide. But what I've been doing is going in meeting groups. So if we're going to work together long term, I'll go to the kickoff meeting where we all get to know each other there, and we get to talk about our solutions and how our relationships can mesh so we can have positive outcomes. 83%, over 83% success rate in my last session, which is great because the national success rate is 20 to 60%. We were at 83%. I'm very proud of that. So if you are over a group of entrepreneurs and you need somebody to help them with certifications, please look at me. Please reach out to me. Now, got that all that done. Ooh, so, and she gave me her name, and I'm gonna say Piret. Piret. Thank you, because I was gonna say Piret, and I keep wanting to name you Piret. I don't know what that is, but Piret is my guest, and so Piret, welcome to the mixer. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
So
I'm excited to be here.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for your yes. So how are things down there in Florida?
Oh, it's hot in the daytime. I'm waiting for our first cold front.
I heard you. I heard you. Well, here it's turning slowly turning fall. In the morning, it's kind of cool, and it gets warmer as the day goes on, and then it cools back off at night. I love the spring and the fall. I don't like the extremities, the winters and the summers. I can do without those. But those mild winters, those mild weather seasons, I love, love, love those. So
Mhm.
yes. So tell them about the happy expert. What is that?
Happiness expert. Yeah. So, the way I see when I started coaching and
Mm-hmm.
doing my teachings and everything,
Mm-hmm.
I was a happiness coach. But
Okay.
then I learned so much. I learned all kinds of other things and everything. And one moment, with the expert that goes, expert is somebody who you can, if you go there and they can answer any of your questions, they can do that. So I
Yes,
was like, I'm ready to put the expert behind my name because
absolutely.
I know all the questions and answers, because there's questions are sometimes more important than answers.
I heard you. I heard you right. And so, talk about how did you get started doing this? How did you become the happiness expert?
Well, and how do I become happiness expert?
Uh-huh.
I'm one of those people who are born happy.
Oh,
You
that's a
see,
good
yeah.
thing.
So I was one of those people who were born happy, and I did other things in my life. Well, I had hobbies that I was uh, concentrating, focusing before, but then it got coaching got more of my interest, and I was thinking, why other people just can't be happy like the way I am?
Mm,
And there is reasons. There's normal reasons. Like then
absolutely.
they think about happiness differently the way I think, and they
Yes.
feel happiness differently than I think.
Mm,
So
yes.
there is actually reasons why people are not just happy.
Yes. Yeah. And so now you told me you were studying in dimensional learning. Tell me about that.
Well, I was not studying it. I kind of created it, and am creating it. So that goes because people usually functions two or three dimensionally, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the way they see flat, and they see just like with their eyes and everything. And some people have more connections to their senses.
Mm-hmm.
So end dimension is when you perceive things already, like not just 2D and 3D the way they are,
Mm.
but you can imagine and you can perceive things all around you, inside of you, outside in the universe. Like you can perceive more than just the visual or just the hearing, and just with the six senses that we used to use.
Yes.
And I'm teaching how to use all the senses, all the dimensions, all the things around you, because there's so much more. There's like all the things inside us that we're not aware of, but they keep our body going 24/7. We sleep, our body keeps on going and takes care of us. There's things outside of our body that also function all the time. They take care of us.
Yes.
So that's like, and dimensions are like all the other things outside of two or three dimensions.
I love it. I love it. And so, why would a person need this in their life?
Just keep things clearly. The way
Mm,
I say it as well, the way I teach it is like, if you know more, you can do more.
I love it.
So
Yes.
that's the main part. Like if you know all those things, and if you'll be able to go in it, there's certain meditation type of sessions that I have as well, where what help you understand and go into it.
And so
So
this is
it's,
a this is a
yeah,
deeper this is deeper than mindfulness, right?
yes. Mindfulness is just like perceiving still 2 and 3D, but this
Mm-hmm.
one is what makes you aware, like able to do even mindfulness.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that, and it makes us. It's giving us awareness of things that Life is so life is so noisy that we have so many things flying at us, but it helps us to stay focused and pay attention.
Mm-hmm. And it combined with like the sessions of like contacting your subconscious through this
Mm,
to the sessions that you do, and also the knowledge. So I put knowledge and the sessions together so you can go in and out, and knowing what you're doing.
I love it. I love it. And so, someone out there who feels like they have no clue, like they are at their wits' end trying to understand this world around them, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
how to process the world that they're living in, it could help them become more grounded.
It can help them become more grounded for sure.
Mm-hmm.
because that's the thing. That's why we're function usually, if we only function inside of our 3D body,
Mm-hmm.
then we either go in the past or we go in the future,
Yeah.
and we don't stay as much present in our present
Mm.
inside the body.
I
And
love
that's
it.
also our mind, but actually our body can't even go in the past or in the future. Only our mind can go past and future. Body can
Exactly.
only actually stay, body does stay always in the present moment.
Yes. Yes.
But mind can go past, future, imaginative world. Like mind can do so many other things around.
Yeah, yeah. And you see that, and a lot of the times people talk about, showing up present or being in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I had a mayor, one of our former mayors, that I took some kids to see, and I asked him what was one thing that he had learned about, during his tenure. And he was like, he said he had an opportunity to meet President Barack Obama. And he said the one thing that our former president had that he wanted to acquire was to be present, learning how to compartmentalize his life so that he could be present going from one meeting to another when there's important things that be handled, and not have carryover in his life. I think that's an important tool, because but you can get lost in it, because sometimes when people say, well, what do you do, and I have to think about all the different things I do, because I've learned to compartmentalize,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so teaching me to be present, though, teaching me, having that conversation with him made me want to be present. And
Mm-hmm.
because when you do a lot of different things that are disconnected, being mindful and being in the present is an important tool to
Mm-hmm.
have.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what you have to understand, that what grounding is, the way you name like grounding,
Mm-hmm.
is getting when you in your body. That's to understand your body is always present, and the
Yes.
grounding makes you get all those noises around you,
Mm.
and you bring yourself inside your body, and then you just like be in your body as well. But it is sometimes we do a lot of like several times a day we do have to go to the past or to the future to like get clues from the past, get
Mm-hmm.
ideas for future that we need to, our goals and everything. So we need all those abilities as well. But sometimes, like you said, sometimes we get lost in there.
Yeah.
Somebody gets lost in the past and they just stay in the past, or somebody is too worried about the future. That's when the panic might come in and everything. And that's when you have to bring yourself at least a few times a day in like inside your body, grounding, present, being here, and just like now, just like get your body relaxed a little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it takes some of the stressors off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're learning coping skills.
Yeah. Even like this moment, what people do, like kind of even without practice or anything, when people like busy, 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 and just one moment they go like this,
Yeah.
that's what they do this automatically. Their body
Mm-hmm.
just automatically goes in that present moment
Mm-hmm.
and just does it. And like and that's, you don't plan to do that.
Yeah.
You experienced it, and people, you don't plan to do it, but like you do, and it's just some moment your body just goes.
Mental exhaustion.
Mhm. Yeah,
Just
goes
tired.
and just being there like this. So it's
Yeah, I,
good.
I can relate I definitely can relate to that, because I've had, I've been in places where people, you can kind of see, especially in group meetings where there's a lot of people, you can kind of
Hmm.
see different ones when they pull out, right?
Hmm.
They get disengaged because they need a break. And it may have
Hmm.
nothing to do with what's going on in the meeting. It may be just their day has been loaded and they just need a break.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
because the
yeah,
body takes a little break like that. So if they
yeah.
stay there too long time and they start like snoring, that's then we have a problem.
I know it. I sing in the choir, and every now and then, when we're singing the songs, we're up and we're energized. And then, you get all that adrenaline running, and then you go straight to not having that stimulus. And so then they, start, like you said, going back. And the next thing you know, somebody's having to tap them to wake them up, to wake them up in the service. But yeah, but I love that you have studied human behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Like I commend you all the knowledge that you have in our conversation. We talked previously how you talked about the different things in your background and how the things that you've learned. I admire that in you. Like I applaud that in you, that
Mm-hmm.
you've learned so much.
Yeah, it's I'm just so curious all the time about it, and then it's like you get one book and you get one video and all the things, and the knowledge is piling, and that's been my interest since I was born. Or it's like I remember, like I was around 16, 15 when I read a book about emotional intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when it actually start to come like knowingly putting more layers of my knowledge on that part.
Yeah, and emotional intelligence, I think I was introduced to it at the end of the 80s. I was working for an insurance company at the time, and we were in management meetings, and they introduced EI, you know, to us. And then I thought, how many people don't know this? Like how many people have not dug into emotional intelligence to the on this level? And so
Yeah.
like you, I was energized by it too. I was like wanting to know more, right?
Mm-hmm. And even now it's already like really popular. Back then it wasn't popular, but now it's even popular. But there's still so many people who have no idea what emotional intelligence is.
You're correct. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But it's everything, and it's we don't think in the business world we think about it in regards to management and employees and those type of things. But in regular world, I mean, in business world, in personal relationships, emotional intelligence is paramount. Like you need to have
Mhm.
it in order to have great, strong relationships with others.
And to be happy, you need to have it as well, because
Yeah,
that's what I teach as a happiness expert. What I teach is it's not happy thoughts only. It's not only like you're always happy, everything's always happy. You have fear, sadness, um, anger. You have all those other emotions for as well, and they have their own reasons and they have their own needs. Why you need them in your life, but
yeah.
then you go back to happy, and it doesn't. You like for me as well. I'm able to be sad and happy. I'm able to be angry and happy. I'm able to
Mm.
be scared and happy. So, but I do need those, and sometimes they are automatically. They come from something that happens in your life,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes you need them to express what you're feeling.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to have human emotions because we're
Hmm.
humans, right? And so a
Yeah.
lot of times we try to block or cut off, you can't feel this way. I cringe when every time I hear especially a male telling a female, well, don't go to your emotions. And I'm like,
Yeah.
y- you
And
know,
like crying it out,
yeah,
like if you feel like crying, you need to be crying. Don't tell the person who's crying not to cry, because they having emotion, they need to let it out.
yeah, yeah. You know what? When my father was sick, he was going through cancer, and he later passed. And people would say, "Oh, don't cry; it's going to make you sick." Now, this is the person that I love more than anybody in the world, and they were telling me not to cry. And
Mhm.
in me holding those emotions in, I ended up having to get shots because I broke out in welts. And they was like, that's your nerves. You need to let it. If you need to cry, go cry. The doctors were
Mhm.
like, no, 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 because the people around me, and I know they love me, but they were telling me, no, don't cry. You're gonna make yourself sick. Don't cry. But then those are emotions. And he again was the person I love more than anything in life. And I was to grieve, properly grieve that I was gonna miss him.
Mhm.
And so that's why I never tell people who are going through some kind of loss not to cry. My
Yeah.
prayer is always, I hope God give them memories, sweet memories to host them and to sustain them, in the difficult time of the burial or whatever the incident is. But I never tell people don't cry. Since that incident, I had to get shots to calm my
Yeah,
nerves.
and that's how you hold the emotion in,
Yeah,
and then it stays in your body, and then it
yeah,
can start giving you sicknesses
it
and
did.
hurt and everything like this. So we don't want that.
No, no, we don't want that. And so that's why I never, and I know, like I said, people say it coming from a good space, right? They're wanting to
Mm-hmm.
help you. They want to, they don't know what to say. And so that's their thing to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that could be harmful to people,
Yeah.
holding things in. I believe in feeling all the emotions
Yeah.
because they're part of who you are.
Yeah, and that's how I teach the happiness. That's the way to be happy. If you have those other emotions as well, and you're able to not, you don't have to hide those emotions. You're just able to manage those emotions. Like,
Managing, yes,
yeah, if
yes,
you need to feel them, you need them. Like, only one thing that I say, like, with anger, you can't take your personal anger out on others.
yeah, yeah.
That's the only thing I say. It's like you are not allowed to take your anger issues
No,
out on others.
no.
That's the
But
only
but
thing.
but that goes with managing, though, right?
Yeah.
It's learning to manage your emotions. Like it's not don't have them. It's learning how
Mm-hmm.
to manage them once you have them.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you don't strike at other people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that. So yeah, but I think that's needed. And I think, like I said, I sat in that meeting with the emotional intelligence crew and wondered, like, how many, this explains so much. Like, how many people don't know this in
Mm-hmm.
everyday life? Because we
Yeah.
were using it with our employees because I was a manager at the time. But I thought this could carry over into everything.
Mm-hmm. And that's what when I talk about n-dimensional learning, that's
Hmm.
what happens in the 2 and 3 dimensions, where you just let the emotions control you instead of you
Mm.
managing. I would not say controlling, managing your emotions, but
Yes.
like 2 and 3 dimensional worlds,
Yes.
like emotions, they control you.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
just you get angry and then you lash on others.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You get sad and then you take all this sadness, like all about you, and it's just like get like, and you can get stuck in there, and you get depressed and all the things like this.
Yeah.
And with the fear as well, fear is really strong feeling.
Absolutely. And I always, when we're talking about fear, because I get business owners, right, who are introverts. And they talk about, because we're talking about you need to get seen, get heard. People need to know you have a business. People need to be able to support you. They can't support what they can't see. And I talk, all the things about presence, social media presence, especially. And they're like, well, Linda, I'm an introvert. And I teach them about, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
because it's necessary for their businesses to thrive. And so, but learning how to even manage those fears, understanding which fear is because it's new and I haven't done it before, or which fear is to keep you safe because there's a difference in the processing and how you process that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have fears all the time. It's
Oh yeah.
just try not you can't you same way, like you can have give the fear some time,
Mm,
but then you have to find a way to get out of it and keep on going as well. Because, and I've had it happen to me as well, when fear just paralyzes you,
mm.
and it's really hard to get back out and start going things, because I'm a human, like,
Oh yeah.
just because I'm a happiness expert doesn't mean that I'm not going to have those. But I learned what to do on those moments, and just
Yes.
step by step. It's not just like, okay, now I'm like completely scared out of my mind, and
Mm.
next moment I'm not going to be scared at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it doesn't happen like that. You just take a little bit of a step, like you get grounded, get yourself like feel calmer, breathe.
Absolutely.
If breathing works for you, you breathe. If something else works for you, something else works for me. I like when I'm able to talk with somebody. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be when talking about the same fear or some topic. It's just like talking with somebody about random things.
Mm. Yes, yes. And I think that goes with learning yourself, right? Learning what
Mm-hmm.
your triggers are, and then learning coping skills on how to manage yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you teach, right? That's how you help people
Mm-hmm.
understanding themselves.
Yeah, and that's the main goal with everything where I'm going in the future with my teachings, to teach the people how to be aware of everything around them, why things happening, understanding themselves better, because everything goes around by understanding yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
And when you understand yourself, then you start understanding things around you as well. But when you understand the end dimensions, then you know it's not just what you see and hear. There's
Yes.
so much more around us that we feel in a different way. And there's so many things with technology that has been available for people now. It's actually a lot of the knowledge has been available for like centuries,
Yes.
but they keep them like now, the generations that we have now, we keep them all separated.
Yes.
Like we know about biology, we
Mm.
don't know about anatomy, or like we don't know, let's say, about AI, or we know only chemistry, but we don't know physics, we don't know
Yeah.
mathematics. So it's just like kind of or history. But
Yes.
when you put them all together, then you get this bigger picture
Yes.
of
And you see
everything.
how they go together, right? I
Hmm.
teach math to GED students 4 days a week. And when we're doing science, and I also teach science. And so they're learning that science is math. Like science has math in it, and math
Hmm.
can have science in it. And so they're learning how all the different topics roll up, like you said, roll up, and they're all a part of the same living experience.
Hmm. And I had one person one time in my show, which he was mathematic as well. Like
Hmm.
he would develop math app, and we talked about why we need to learn mathematics.
Yeah.
It's not just that we're learning numbers, but we're learning to solve the problems. So
Yes.
any problem that you actually have in your life, if you know how to solve the mathematical problem, you can use that way of solving all of your problems in your life. You add this, you take this, you take this thing from your life, the other thing from your life, you add them together, you get the solution. You
Absolutely.
know, it's
Exactly.
mathematics.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I tell them there's only four basic skills, right? Adding, subtraction, multiplication, and dividing. That it's the four things. And
Mm-hmm.
we do them different ways and we do them at different times, but it's basically four skills. And so if
Mm-hmm.
we can do those, if we can, become experts at those four skills, we have math beat.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is coming from somebody that used to run from used to
Mm-hmm.
run from math, but now that
Yeah,
I've
well,
been
I
teaching,
didn't like. I have the same question that a lot of people have. Like, why do we have to learn that? And when I had a conversation with him, it all started making sense.
yeah,
And
yeah,
he's really professional, and so the way he does, he makes when he thinks, you can see that in his head he's making mathematics with what he's saying and what I'm saying. He's
yeah,
adding numbers.
yeah.
Like when I talk, it seems like he's having, or he talks, it seems like he's adding some numbers together and making some kind of answer out of that.
He's analytical.
Mhm.
Analytical people do that, and
He was
so
actually he this is actually really funny as well. He made him for himself, just for fun. He made a mathematical study, and we're like, if he goes to a grocery store and he smiles at random people, how many people smile back?
so he did a study.
And how does he feel after that? And like all kinds of things like that. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
he's analytical. Yeah, yeah. Our brain works. I am data analyst by education. And my last job, I was a business analyst for a major hospital. So
Hmm.
I get it's kind
Hmm.
of quirky, but I get that train of thought. So but now that we're ready to close, can you tell me what would you like our listeners to take away from this conversation?
What I like for the viewers take is one thing with happiness. If you want to be happy, you can be happy,
Mm,
but you have to want,
mm,
because there's other things in our life that go on and everything as well. And you have to give yourself permission to feel that happiness and be happy.
yes.
It's, I don't think a lot of people say, oh, you just have to think happy thoughts and all this. Like, hey, it's a choice. It's it's not as much as a choice, but it's allowing yourself to be happy. It's like,
Mm,
okay, I can be happy. And there's some moments, maybe there's something going on in people's life when they don't feel like it. And that's okay, because in that moment you had to feel something different. But when you're ready again, then you go and bring happiness back in your life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you for your yes. Thank you for joining us here on the Business Plugs Mixer. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug, and I thank you for joining me on the Business Plugs Mixer. We're here every Sunday. I say every Sunday, but most Sundays at 7 o'clock p.m. And we'll see you the next time. You all have a great week, and
Bye.
we'll see you the next time on the Business Plugs Mixer. Bye bye.